How about yourself, Andy?
For me, I actually came across a video on YouTube, and it's about Derek Redmond. And if you guys don't know who Derek Redmond is, he basically it's the 1992 Summer Olympics in Barcelona, and he was in the men's 400-meter race. And he was one of the people that a lot of people, had hope for, that he was gonna win the race. But 250 meters in, he actually tore his hamstring, and it was so much pain that he dropped down on the floor and just laid there for a couple seconds. So then when the stretcher started to come, and they're going to help him out and take him out of the track, he actually got back up and just kept going. He just hobbled over trying to finish the race. And you can see the expression on his face that he's really, really disappointed, and he's in a lot of pain. I don't know if anybody in the audience ever tore a hamstring, but from what I've seen, it's really, really painful. I mean, just think about ripping a muscle. That's how painful it is. But while he was just trying to get to the finish line, a big man came out of the crowd, fought the security, and helped them out. And he thought it was a stranger. He kind of pushed the person away for a little bit because he thought the person was going to try to stop him. But once he looked, he saw it was his dad. And once he knew that it was his dad, he just burst into tears and just had his arms around his dad while they both went all the way to the finish line. And his dad even told him, he said, "Hey, son, you don't have to do this. There's nothing that you have to prove anymore, And he said, "Hey, I have to finish it. I have to finish it." And the dad said, "Okay, then if you really have to finish it, then we'll do it together." His dad trained with him ever since he was a lot younger, and just to have both of them finish the race, it really means something. Now, what I learned from this is basically, if you're gonna start something, finish it, right? I mean, even though he knew that he was last place, even though the time that he's gonna finish is super ridiculous, and he have all the excuse in the world to leave the race because he tore his hamstring, he's in complete pain, but no matter what he went through, he still went all the way to the finish line. And I just thought that's a big lesson to a lot of us, that whenever we start something or set a goal in life or work towards something, a lot of times it's not how we started or what we're doing even in between, it's how we finish, right? And to this day, a lot of people think of the 1992 40-meter race. I think a lot of people can't even remember who actually finished that race first. When they think about it, they think of him. So, yeah, I just think that's really inspiring, and that's what inspired me the past week. So, yeah.
I've seen baseball players tear their hamstrings, and usually they need help off the field. So that's pretty amazing that he was he kind of hopping on his leg, or is he still trying to?
He was hopping. He was hopping, but he was crying. He was in pain, and you could just see his face. But
wow.
He wanted to finish it, so yeah.
Man, that's very good lesson to learn.
Yeah.
Now would be a good time to actually ask our audience, although we may not be able to cover it today, anything that inspires you guys, send us an email.
Yeah.
Let us know who inspires you this week or who inspires you in general. We'd love to hear it. So we're going to move on to our next segment, which is our Curious Question segment. And this week I was curious about... What's up, Andy?
No, I'm just looking down at the comment, and Josh said "you guys" when you said, what inspires the audience, and they said "you guys." So thanks, Josh.
Thanks, Josh.
That means a lot to us. Yeah.
That's awesome. So I was I originally was going to do my curious question about creatine, which is a muscle supplement, but I kept finding myself looking at protein, like what other sources of protein are there. So I decided I'm going to do my segment on protein and interesting sources of protein, places you can get protein to help promote muscle growth. I think the first ones most people kind of are aware of, animal proteins, which are beef, salmon, chicken, and egg whites. Another one I was looking at was bison, which is a much leaner beef. I guess a lot of people associate a gamey flavor with bison. Although I guess when they put it on, when they farm them or when they raise them, they actually don't have a gamey flavor because they've given them different types of foods.
Yeah.
And so, an interesting thing about all those meats is one website I was on, marksdailyapple.com. He was really stressing the organic side of it. I know a lot of people are very organic crazy, but he made a lot of sense in that with a lot of these animals, when you're at a farm, you know, they're being pumped full of antibiotics, and fish, when they're being farmed, are being crammed to a very tight condition, and they're being fed sort of really just lowest cost food. So they're intaking really poor quality food. And then, you know, the make them really poor quality food. So I guess if you have enough budget for yourself, try to hit the organic stuff. Try to get the you know, open range eggs and open cage eggs and open cage chickens. Other ones that I thought were pretty good were plain Greek yogurt, which is the stuff that isn't as tasty as the Fruit of Delicious cup yogurt. Cottage cheese, which I always buy but never eat. I'm going to try it again. I'm going to buy some more cottage cheese. Huge source of protein. Another one that I love too, and this I have a little sample with us, is one that you're going to want to look at is the soybeans, vegetable.
Yeah.
They sell these at, I guess this is Safeway, or actually King Soopers, or Kroger, if that's what they call the store where you are. They don't have the skin on them, so they're already de-skinned, which is like the only hassle I ever find with edamame. So
yeah.
Pick this up.
Wait. I actually like to eat edamame with the skin. I'm not eating the skin, but I just like the whole process of taking it out, and when you sprinkle salt on it, it's just on the skin, so you don't get it all over the seed inside. But yeah, that's a good point.
I mean, they sell them with skins too, but like if I'm trying to make some real quick meal and I just want the protein out of this, the fact that these are de-skinned really comes in handy. Less salt too, right?
Yeah.
Some really interesting ones that some of them I didn't realize were protein. Some of them are just interesting place sources of protein. Miso, which is made from a paste of soybeans, is a protein has a lot of protein in it. This is one called tempeh. Have you ever heard of tempeh?
No, I've never heard of tempeh before. What is it?
It's a fermented soybean, and I think I've actually had it in some Asian food, but I think it's like the thicker stuff when you get like some Asian dish.
Yeah.
It's like the.
Does it look like tofu? Does it look like mushy tofu?
No, I think it's the stuff that's actually harder. So when you get something that looks like tofu, but it's just like all like much harder and firmer, I think that's what that is.
Yeah.
Another one that's very similar. It's also hard, but it's made from a completely different source. It's this is the actual pronunciation, so I don't worship the devil. It's called Satan, and it's Seitan. I even went to dictionary.com and had it play the sample sound for me to make sure that is exactly how you pronounce it. That's Satan. So it sounds like worship, but it's
yeah.
Okay, I digress. Sorry. It's not made from soybeans, like I said before. It's made from a grain. And actually, it's very high in protein. 3 ounces of this stuff has 22 grams of protein, which is almost the caliber with like chicken and beef. Another one that I thought I've been eating for a while, I had on and off, is this stuff called quinoa, which I have with me here. It's interesting because it's like the top of a plant, and it almost looks like a seed. But it's I remember tweeting to you earlier today or the other day about this stuff because I was mixing it in some soup. It's pretty good, but I made the mistake the first time thinking that it's going to be a rice replacement, but the texture is nowhere near rice. Definitely give it a try. I picked that up actually at Costco as well, so I was surprised they actually had this. I'm sure if you have a Costco near you, you probably can get some of that as well.
Yeah. There's many Costco around here. I actually still have my brown rice. It's still unopened, but I'm gonna crack it open. At least I think today I'm gonna break it open and see what all the fuss is about.
Is that the individually wrapped ones, or is that the frozen one?
The brown rice?
Yeah,
it's raw. It's a big bag of brown rice, just like white rice. But
Okay.
yeah,
Because I've
but
got
it's brown.
so that causes your body to have more of a challenge, right?
Yeah. They say it's less fat and higher in fiber and less sugar and all that stuff. So it doesn't have the bad stuff in white rice, and it has extra good stuff in the brown rice. So, yep.
Another source of protein, which is I'm pretty familiar with because I've been working out my muscles a long time, is the usual protein shake. I think most people are familiar with this stuff. Yeah, scoop it
Yeah.
in some water or milk, skim milk preferred
Yeah.
probably. Another supplement that I've never heard of before, it's called Spirulina. It's a weird algae it's like a blue-green algae that comes from the sea, and it's just loaded with protein. I've never heard about it before, but I think I'll go down to the local nutrient store or go online and maybe actually pick some up and try to increase the protein flow there.
Yeah. And earlier you told me that you're going to be taking a lot more protein, you're going to be doing a lot more weights to gain more muscle. I actually read in an article that if you have muscle, it actually burns a lot more calorie than if you just have fat alone, because the muscle is a lot more dense and it uses a lot more energy. So I think the muscle will help just burn calorie even when you're just sitting there alone, right? As long as you maintain the muscle. And don't let it die down.
Yeah, and you have to keep feeding it protein, which is why I'm trying to find good sources of protein. Because I don't know, have you ever checked how much protein you're supposed to intake online?